Hello, I'm Maya, and this welcome back, or welcome to Tgy Podcast. I'm literally just here to yap. So I've just got this mic, and I'm paranoid about moving it around because I remember I did a little practice, not like a little practice, but just to test the mic and any sort of movement. You can hear the wind a lot. But the thing is with me, I'm not officially diagnosed, but I am 100% sure I've got ADHD, and I'll tell myself to do something, and then literally 2 seconds later I've forgotten it. So I apologize if there's wind in this, because chances are I'm saying it now, and I'll timestamp it. I'm saying it now. I'm not gonna move it, but I know I'll forget whilst I app, and then move it, and then realize. Anyways, that actually starts me on one of the first topics that I had to talk about today, which was ADHD. And I don't know if this is just this could be other things as well, but ADHD and just not responding to text messages. I know there is a science behind it, but what is it specifically about responding to people? That's so difficult. And the thing is, it's nothing ever personal. It's even worse when I'm the one that starts the conversation and I just don't respond, or I do but it just takes so long. And it's not even it will be a conversation that I'm very much interested in, of course if I start the conversation then I have some sort of interest in it, but I feel because there is some sort of pressure on me to do it, to respond, my body just goes into I just lose the ability to do that task. I feel because there's pressure for me to do it, my body just goes into shutdown mode and I shut down. Because I go into shutdown mode, I can't do it. And it just stresses me out. But the thing is, I also feel so guilty for it. And the thing is, it will be a conversation where to end the conversation, it could just be a simple yes or no question. I'll see the message, but it's not like I don't want to respond. It's just, I don't know. I feel it's because there's so much pressure. It now is anxiety inducing, and it stresses me out. So I just stop looking at it, and then I forget about it, and then I'll come back a week later and realize, shit, I haven't responded, but it's too late now. The conversation's irrelevant, and I feel so bad. I'll think about it for the whole day, the fact that I haven't responded, but I haven't responded. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm a bit loopy sometimes, but yeah. Another thing is obviously I haven't been diagnosed, but I feel now I'm in the era of healing and all of that. So, and also just trying to figure out what exactly is wrong up there so I can get the help that I need, because why struggle alone? And in this process, I'm thinking back in my past, when I was younger, did these same symptoms that I'm seeing now appear when I was younger? Because I think the only difference now is that I'm actually aware of them, and I'm educated about the illnesses. I'm educated about the illnesses. What? Yes, you know what I'm saying. Goodness. But, and so I'm able to link certain things I do with whatever I think is wrong and an illness. But I think about it, even in school, there'll be times I'll have, to be fair, I feel everyone had this to a degree. Well, not everyone, but me. I had homework. I knew I had homework. And also I'm aware that if I don't do the homework, then I know the consequences of not doing homework, and I don't want part of those consequences, because no, I don't want a detention. Neither do I want to stress out the night before. But for some reason, every single time I stress out the night before. The thing is, the teacher would be like, oh, you have a project and you have 2 months to do it. Start it now. They emphasize the start it now. And I completely understood them, because who actually wants to be stressed out the week before a project is due? But for some reason, I found myself all the time, the 2 nights before, stressing my life out trying to get this shit done. And it's similar to the texting thing in the sense that, oh my gosh, my alarm went off because there's a Osbat warehouse sale that is in 10 minutes, and the first 2 minutes is 50% off, 50% off, and then first 5 minutes is 30 or something like that, but I will be getting some things, so that's why I put the alarm. But anyways, yeah, it would be the same where like for those 2 months where the work is like it should be getting done. Each day I would think about it. I would, and it would just be on the back of the mind that I have homework and I know that anything I'm doing right now, whether it be on my phone or I'm yapping to people, like I know I shouldn't be doing this. I know I should be doing the homework, but I'll literally just do that until 2 nights before where I'm like, shit, I actually don't have a choice anymore. Like, and then I'll just like stress my life out and do it. And the thing is, when that happened, every single time I was like, okay, I'm never doing that again. I'm always gonna start my homework as soon as I get it. Like, let me just get out of the way. I think in sixth form, I got better at doing that because it was A levels plus GCSEs. Like, I like, there's subjects I just don't care about. Like, let's be real, I don't care about physics. I don't care like about geography. Like, oh, I hated geography. I was just so shit at it. I don't know what it was about it. And also my teacher did not like me. My geography teacher actually died. Rest in peace, Mr. Like, the thing is, it was a mutual feeling. Like, I know he didn't like me and I didn't like him. He was a character. Like, he was a bit funny, but we just, like, didn't get along. Yeah, school, man. Shit. Geography was shit. I liked drama. I liked RS, but that was just because I was decent at it, and because it's just, I don't know, I just found it easy. I'm personally not Christian, but I grew up in a Christian school. I was gonna say household, but like it just wasn't really. Like, I feel like a lot of it was just kind of like common sense to a degree, well, from my perspective. But what was my point? That, yeah, like my GCSEs, I just didn't care about all the subjects, so obviously like I didn't have much motivation to revise. But A levels, like I did English literature, psychology and drama. I did philosophy, but I dropped it because CBA. Plus I did not like the teacher. She was just like, I don't know, like she was just a bit like odd. It's just not my cup of tea. No offense to her, but anyways, yeah, I need to be back. I'll be back. Goodness. The lighting's a bit different because it's like an hour later now. I went to eat these chicken wings. They're really nice. And I also unsuccessfully got anything from the Ozbat drop. Like, I was on checkout and literally as we were typing in our address, like it just gave us a notification that what we wanted to get was sold out. That was depressing. But charge. Oh my gosh. Hello. It's probably weird that I'm saying hello, but it's actually the next day that I'm recording the rest of this because I got tired and I had to go to eat, and then I low-key forgot what I was doing and then I got tired because I had work this morning, but it's Friday when I'm recording this, so I don't have work tomorrow, which is amazing. Like, I really feel like the UK needs a 4-day work week and a 3-day weekend. Well, obviously it'd be, anyways, I feel like it would just improve the UK. Yeah, I had work and that was long, but I'm back now. And I'm gonna carry on what I was talking about yesterday. I remember I was talking about like ADHD and like when I kind of like things in school that made me realize that like I had it. Another thing that like nose ties into ADHD and like is like one of the symptoms that I feel like I have a lot is emotional permanence and object permanence. And that basically means that it's like out of sight, out of mind. And say, for instance, like of course I care and I love about my friends and family that like are back at home, back in London and stuff like that, but because I don't see them often, and okay, firstly my memory is already shit, but then that is not me like saying that like they're irrelevant to the like, it's a different type of forgetting to like other people. Not other people, it's not like I don't care as in I forget, but it's like if I don't see someone for a long time or I don't speak to them, it's just because they're like, if I'm not thinking about them, then I just won't remember they exist. But not in a way that like I don't care, but just like it's just not on my mind. So it literally just doesn't cross my mind. And then sometimes I'm like, oh shit, like I haven't texted this family member in ages, like why haven't I? And it's because I haven't been thinking of them, but it's not. Or the thing is, like, I will think of these people. Like, this is not to say that I literally, like, don't think about my family. However, my brain, yeah, like, wait, sorry, I'm getting carried away. But like another ADHD, I don't know if this is ADHD specifically, but another Maya issue is that like sometimes I just don't put pieces together. Like I just don't. I feel like maybe I've touched on this, but yeah, sometimes I just don't. I struggle to put pieces together. Like I'll know two pieces of information, and like for example, like no, I can't. Like I actually sat there for about 2 minutes trying to think of an example, and I just couldn't think of one. But what's my point? Oh no. See, and this happens all the time. Like I'll be talking, and then I'll just completely lose my train of thought. Like it will just disappear, like as if it was never there. And like the more I try to remember, I just can't remember. I was talking about emotional and object permanence. Yeah, and so I'll just like forget, and the thing is, yeah, no, I was saying that I do think about these family members. Like I do think about them, but I won't put the pieces together that I haven't messaged them in ages. I should message them. And the thing is, like, sometimes when I think about them, this is not even just family, friends, anyone. Like, I'll think about them, and then I'll feel guilty at the fact that I haven't spoken to them. But I've explained that already. Like, but I still can't English. I still can't bring myself to message them or respond because it just stresses me out. Like, and from the fact that I have so much guilt from not responding to them, I'm like I don't want any of it. No, thank you. And then I just kind of like, and then I just don't want to think about it. And it's just like a cycle. But like I'm getting better. I feel like last year I really kind of went through that. Like I don't know, but I'm getting better at like responding to people and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't. There's like another like ADHD thing. Like I feel all my emotions very strongly. Like don't get me wrong. Like I think that's a great thing. I feel like this is just as a discovery of myself. Like as I've like started to understand myself more, I realize that I probably feel my. Oh, sorry. Why am I apologizing? Anyways, I feel my. Oh, that's another thing. Sorry, I know. I keep on starting points and then I go on tangents. But this is what happens. Like you're here to listen to me out. So this is gonna happen, and I'm not sorry. I was gonna say I'm sorry, and then I was like no. But yeah, no, that's another thing. Like I just always apologize. Like even when I haven't done anything wrong. I don't know. Anyways, like I'm sorry. Like I have so much to say, but it's just like kind of word vomit right now. But like yeah, I'm just a big apologizer. But like that's not even to say like I'm a big apologizer, but you get what I mean. Like I just apologize. But my main point before that was, oh my god, I forgot again. No, yeah, I just realized I feel my emotions much more strongly than a lot of people. Like I would say like I'm quite sensitive. Like I would say like during secondary school I wasn't as emotional. That's a lie. Like that's a lie. I was gonna say I wasn't as emotional as I am now, but that's a lie. But I feel like I'm more of a crier now. I feel like in secondary school maybe it was just like, not maybe, but I feel like I was more just like my emotions were kind of like, now they're quite like heightened, but I feel like before like secondary school like they were quite, if anything, reduced. Like I didn't really care. Like I just didn't. I just like, I don't know. I feel like I had the ability to be emotional, of course, but I feel like it maybe came out through just not talking or being quite like depressed. Like, but now I'm a crier. Like now, like I feel, and also like I don't know. Secondary school was just long. Like I just like. I feel like not much has changed in terms of my. That's a lie. A lot has changed, but I feel like in secondary school, I kind of didn't know how to process my emotions healthily or in like a right way, and so I've always had empathy, but like I was a lot more. I wouldn't say inconsiderate, but I was nice during secondary school. But there was a couple people that like I just like didn't really get along with for a plethora of reasons, but like I feel like now if I was to be this kind of Maya in those situations, like I wouldn't put so much energy into an argument. Do you get what I mean? But I feel like everyone at puberty, I feel like everyone was being bastards in secondary school because everyone was going through it. But I feel like as I've matured and stuff, like I can understand other people's like emotions and feelings more, and I kind of like, oh my gosh, this was another thing I was meant to talk about, but literally, like, if anyone is just rude to you, like, they're just projecting, like, let's just be real. There is no reason in the world that someone would just be rude or someone would be a bastard unless they had their own shit going on. But if you're content and happy with life, you're not gonna be a bastard. Like, you're gonna be nice. Like, you're gonna, like, yeah, you would just be a lot nicer of a person when you got your own shit figured out. But when people like just aren't doing well mentally, that's when they're like bastards. And I feel like in secondary school everyone kind of went through that personally. But yeah, for me, like now I'm a lot more happy and content in life. So, and I feel like naturally, like I and other people were just quite groggy, and I feel like that's just due to like maturity and like age and stuff. But yeah, literally everyone is projecting. Like when talking to someone, like it'll tell you more about them than what they're talking about. Like say for instance, if someone's just like gossiping to you about like in like a malicious way about how this person looked and she didn't look nice and her dress didn't look nice, that's just because they're insecure. Like that's not because they genuinely believe that. um but yeah, my main point was actually like I was talking about how like my emotions and like how I deal with them now in comparison to how I dealt with them during secondary school. See, like I'm trying to focus on looking at the camera, but then I end up like looking everywhere but the camera, and then I realize, oh shit, I'm not looking at the camera. And I look at it, but then 2 seconds later, that thought is gone. See, it's bad, man. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so my emotions in secondary school, like they were just kind of like flatline, but now they're just kind of like heightened. But I feel like although that comes with its like downsides of just being sensitive and just being like literally like crying at any inconvenience. Actually, that's a lie. Like if something upsets me, I'll cry. You know, especially like I feel like I cry when I'm stressed out, when I'm hungry, when I'm stressed out, or sometimes I'll just like cry. Like, but it's not even like I'm like sobbing about how difficult life is. I'm just sobbing because like for me personally, I think it's so good to cry. Like I'm such an advocate for crying because it genuinely helps. In my opinion, at least, it helps so much. Like you physically feel relief after you've had a cry. Like I can guarantee if you're feeling emotional or stressed about something, well, I can't guarantee, so don't take my advice. But for me personally, and if you're like me, maybe it would work for you. But if you're feeling just like that type of, well, for me personally, like when I feel sad, I can literally feel like my heart is dropped to the bottom of my chest. Like I feel like a weight down on my chest, or if I'm anxious or if I'm stressed out. And when I cry, like I physically cry out, and then that weight is gone. And also the sleep after a nap is beautiful, but the headache is not. Yeah, you just feel a lot better after you cry, and it kind of it makes you go back to like your kind of calm state. And let's say you're stressing out about something that in reality isn't that deep, like crying, well, even if it is that deep, I feel like every time you cry about it, you're one step closer just to accepting it and being okay with whatever it is you're crying about. But of course there's like certain occasions where that doesn't apply. But let your emotions out, guys. Feel your emotions, because I don't know, you won't really be able to heal from shit or be okay with things like for instance, like you know how like everyone has this kind of like, to be fair, this doesn't have to go for everyone, but this is just what I personally think. Like say for instance, everyone has kind of like, let's say, traumatic life events, or just like things that they don't want to think about that have maybe happened to them or they've been a part of, or like triggers or like things like that. I believe that your aim should be getting to a point where you can think of those triggers and not be affected in such a crazy like way, like to the point where like it triggers you and you like glitch and something. Like yeah, like I feel like you should be working to a point where you can think about those things and be like, okay, that happened, but I wouldn't be who I am now if that didn't happen. Type shit. Type shit. But yeah, like school, I was quite a different person in school. Like I was nice to people, but I feel like I was quite argumentative. Like, but not in the way where I would just pick a fight out of nothing. Like, but like I was quite opinionated. Let's just say that. And like I think in school, like that made me come off as a bit of a bastard sometimes. Like, but everyone was a bit of a bitch. Like, but yeah, you get what I mean. Yeah, it just got me into kerfuffles that realistically I did not need to be in. But, and I feel like now I'm much more of an empath. Like, I can understand that someone wouldn't be a bastard if they didn't have anything going on with them. Like, if their life was perfect and as great as they're probably making it seem, that they wouldn't be picking fights with you out of bullshit. But I was one of those people, like, unfortunately. And yeah, but charge. Like, yeah, charge. Yeah, man. School was interesting. Yeah, I liked drama. I really liked drama, cause I don't know. It felt quite easy. Like I don't know. I wasn't really afraid. I've never been afraid to do like public speaking or anything like that. And I feel like, or like drama, because I've been to drama school, so I feel like I've just been doing that for a long time, like public things or just like performing in front of people. Like I'm not too. I don't find that too difficult, which is weird. Not weird, but like I'm quite an anxious person. And you would kind of expect an anxious person not to like be okay with like standing up in front of like a crowd of people and doing a monologue. But like, and it stresses me out in the moment, but as soon as I do it, as soon as I start it, I'm calm. Like, and also like with acting, I don't know, I don't really find it difficult to act. Like, this is not to say I'm like Leonardo DiCaprio, but yeah, it just wasn't something I've struggled with. Like, you see that like there was those people in school that like just did not want to talk on stage and stuff like that or in front of people. And honestly, I understand, I get it, because sometimes I'm in like a mood where like that would be the most terrifying thing ever, but most of the time I'm okay with it. But yeah, like as I have gotten more emotional over the years, as I said before, I also feel like I'm a lot better at handling them. Like, I understand my own psychology a bit more. I know how to get through and be with my emotions in a healthy way. I didn't allow myself to feel. I found comfort in being sad, or just like being like, not necessarily sad, but I found like it was more common than uncommon just to like be a bit more on the downside. I just went through it a bit, but now I look back on those times and I'm like, that's crazy. Like, if I could talk to my 15-year-old self, goodness gracious me, I just feel a completely different person. Like Maya 2.0. But no, I am Maya 2.0. This version. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. No, 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 no. I don't know why, but that just made me think of that R. Kelly song, I Believe I Can Fly. And like, I remember like, I don't know, it was more of a song back in the day, but I feel like people played it a lot. And like, did he not piss on 15-year-old girls? Like, I don't know, I feel like people kind of just looked past that or just didn't think that he made the song. But it's crazy because like, Diddy is actually a psychopath. Did he or did he not? I'm sorry. It's funny to me. But yeah. Another thing about myself that I've realised in my recent years is that like I feel like I have a lot more anxiety now than I did when I was younger. Like 2 years ago, the thing is, it's crazy because as I started this podcast by talking about how as I'm realising like my mental health issues now, like I'm piecing it back together to when I was younger. Like this podcast just went in a whole loop. But another thing that I'm realising now is that I feel like I was quite anxious when I was younger, but I just didn't know how to process it. Like, I feel like I just kept it in. Or no, or the thing is that like I wasn't aware that it was a mental disorder rather than just a way of thinking. I would be anxious about something, but I would just think that's normal. Like, I have this one thing where like it doesn't matter who I'm meeting. Quite literally, apart from my boyfriend. But that's only because like I'm just very, very comfortable with him. I'm very comfortable with my other friends and family, but like he's actually seen me at my worst. So like the mental health mask is not up. So I feel like I don't really have to be anxious because he knows that I probably like I don't know, but you get what I mean. Um, love you if you're watching this. But yeah, no, like my point is that it doesn't matter who I meet. It can be friends, it can be family. I could have seen you 20 times last week. I could be living with you. Like, it could be anything. But I will, if I'm having to meet up with you, like, I am stressed the fuck out before. Like, I have to, like, mentally prepare myself to meet people. But it's, like, when I'm with them, it's fine. Like, there's actually nothing wrong. But it's just, I feel like with me, I ruminate on things. I think about things and I think about it and I think about it and I think about it. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna meet this person. Like, but I know nothing could go wrong because it could be like one of my best friends or it could be a literal family member. But it's just stressful. Like, I have to prepare myself for interacting with another human being. And it's different because I live with my boyfriend as well. But yeah, I have to like mentally prepare myself. But as soon as I meet them, it's fine. Like, all of that is gone. Like, I'm not stressed out anymore. My point was that I feel like in secondary school, I had that same thing, but I didn't acknowledge it. So it kind of just like, if you think about it, like it kind of just got pushed to the bottom of the bag. And I feel like the reason why maybe I handle my emotions in a less healthy way than I did like then, rather than like as opposed to now, is because all of those little anxieties, all of those little stresses, all of those little like negative thoughts, I kind of just all push them to the bottom of like the bag. And then obviously that bag is going to fill up, and then it would fill up and it would over spill like into this like crazy just like moment of just like sadness or just like stressed outness. And that's just very unhealthy. But now I'm able to like acknowledge, okay, I'm feeling anxiety. Like I know that the world is not gonna end. I'm able to like kind of calm myself down about things. Like if I'm stressing out about them, like I'm able to acknowledge that, like for instance, like that an intrusive thought is intrusive and I'm not my intrusive thoughts. I feel like that was another thing that I did not know how to handle well in secondary school. I feel like I've always had intrusive thoughts, only recently like acknowledged that I've always had them. But and I feel like I used to feel so guilty about them because I'd be like, oh my gosh, did this make me a terrible person because I'm thinking this? But back then I was just like, I must be the most like kill me, like I must be the most terrible person right in the world right now because I'm thinking of these things. And then I'd feel so bad about it. And then that would just add to the just episode that was happening throughout my entire secondary school but experience. But and now I'm able to acknowledge these things, and then I'm able to like calm myself down, talk myself through it, and yeah, and then like the bag doesn't fill up. Like the thought, like it goes into the bag, but I'm able to pick it back up, and the bag never gets full. Never even gets half full. That's such a lie. Sometimes it does. But that's if I'm really stressed out. But that barely happens anymore. Like I feel like actually that's such a lie. That actually doesn't happen anymore. That's crazy. That doesn't happen anymore. Healing. Who? But like there are times where like I'll get just stressed out, but and then it'll kind of all come out at once. But that's not really the same. Like let's say I've just had a really fucking long day at work or a long couple of days at work, and then I'm hungry, I'm like lacking sleep, or it could just be the week before my period. But yeah, those two things. And then like maybe I'll spill a drink, and it would just set me off and it would just piss me off like a lot more than it needs to. But that's just because I've got so much other shit, like so much other little stresses. But I think that's enough yap for today. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed listening to my yap. Thank you for watching. And yeah, that's all. Okay, goodbye.